The frame freezes on the exact instant Vintel's arm bends the wrong way at the elbow, an angle that simply shouldn't exist. Even now, just seeing it makes my stomach tighten. 7 seconds. That's all it took. 7 seconds between the first tray being shoved aside and the final body hitting the deck with that sick, damp thud, like heavy laundry dropped from too high. I've replayed the footage more than 40 times in the past hour. I can't stop. My hands are shaking so badly the amber drink in my glass ripples against the rim. Sit in this chair long enough, watching station feeds, and you think you've witnessed every form of violence the galaxy can produce. Drunken brawls. Credit disputes. Ritualized honor fights with flashbangs and mediators standing by. You learn how bones crack. You learn the rhythm of a real fight. But this wasn't a fight. It was a controlled collapse. A demolition carried out with precision. The review room is dark except for the glow of the monitors, server fans whining like an angry hive behind me. What sticks with me isn't the screaming, it's the silence that followed. That dead pause after the last body fell. Rewind further, before the shouting. The air was still. Station time read 1847. The cafeteria smelled the same as always, burnt recyclables mixed with the artificial sweetness they pump in to hide the stench of too many species sharing one atmosphere. I was bored. That's my crime. Leaned back, boots on the console, counting minutes until shift change. I saw Vayenthal and his crew shove through the crowd. I saw them fixate on the lone human in the corner, Riker Donovan. And I did nothing. No alert. No drones. I watched, convinced I knew how this would go. Big alien aggressors. Small human target. A shove, a spilled tray, paperwork later. That mistake sits in my throat like shards of glass. They circled him like predators sensing weakness, never realizing they were closing around a live mine. There's a truth about fear most beings misunderstand. Real fear isn't loud. It doesn't scream or run. It's a vibration, a low hum at the base of your skull that tells you the rules just changed, and you're about to lose. I was watching the biometric overlays, standard protocol. Before violence, every species spikes the same way, heart rate climbs, heat blooms, stress hormones surge. Biology is universal. Donovan's readout didn't move. 60 beats per minute. Calm. Stable. Cool. He was chewing a protein brick while 700 pounds of core and muscle screamed inches from his face. I tapped the screen, thinking the sensor grid was broken. It wasn't. That's when the cold crawled up my spine. You have to understand the difference between us and humans. Most coalition species evolved in gentle gravity. We grew armor, claws, toxins. Nature protected us. Humans clawed their way out of a gravity well that tries to flatten them every single day. They didn't evolve to dominate, they evolved to endure. To get back up. That flat green line on the monitor felt wrong, like a corrupted simulation. A surrounded being should react, threaten, retreat, prepare. Donovan did none of it. He waited. And that waiting was worse than panic. It wasn't courage. I don't believe in courage anymore. It was calculation. Some instinct buried deep recognized what I was seeing. This wasn't a student cornered in a cafeteria. This was a predator conserving energy. Something that didn't need to posture because the outcome was already decided. Vayenthal slammed his hand on the table. Cadets nearby scattered. The smart ones ran. They felt the pressure shift, that static charge before a lightning strike. Donovan stood. No stance. No fists raised. Loose. Relaxed. A faint smile that never reached his eyes. Those eyes were empty, measuring. Rienthal threw the first punch, a wild, arrogant haymaker that should have ended it. Donovan wasn't there. The footage blurs. Frame rate fails. One moment stillness. The next, impact. A sharp crack as an elbow buried itself into armored ribs. The armor held. The organs didn't. Vaenthal collapsed like his strings were cut. And the room erupted. Calling what followed a fight would be dishonest. Fights have sides. They have resistance. This was a purge. Say and Morik rushed from opposite angles. Donovan dropped his center of gravity lower than I thought a spine could bend and swept them both. None of the Academy's clean, safety-first combat forms appeared. This was ground-side violence, fast, brutal, efficient. He seized Ren's wrist, the one coated in toxic skin, and twisted. Not a strike. A lever. The joint snapped with a sound I felt through the screen. I flinched, safe behind reinforced glass. 7 targets. 10 seconds. A cafeteria chair became a weapon, swung so hard the air screamed. It shattered against Gore's skull. Gore folded without a sound. Then silence again. 7 of the Academy's toughest cadets lay broken, leaking, moaning across the tiles. Donovan stood among them, breathing evenly. He adjusted his uniform, brushed plastic debris from his shoulder, sat back down, and picked up his fork. That was the moment something in me broke. His heart rate had barely reached 85. It was already falling back to 60. I interviewed him later. Alone in a room. He looked sane. Calm. Like an accountant explaining an error. I held back, he said. Held back. 7 cadets in trauma care. Non-lethal structural targets, he explained. Joints. Soft tissue. Nerves. If I wanted them dead, I wouldn't have used the chair. He wasn't boasting. Just stating facts. Why? I asked. He frowned, genuinely confused. It was the gentlest option. If they kept attacking, I might have had to hurt them for real. This way, they recover. Lesson learned. Less paperwork. Gentleness. That word haunts me. Not the violence, the restraint. The knowledge that what we witnessed was him being polite. We classify humans as just another coalition species. That's the mistake. They are dormant weapons. Walking ordnance choosing, every second, not to detonate. I filed the report myself. Added the warning. Human restraint is a courtesy. Not a law. And if they ever stop choosing it, God help us all.